Hello and welcome to the historic Wayne Theater Ross Performing Arts Center located in downtown Waynesboro, Virginia. My name is Tracy Strait and I have the privilege of being the executive director. On behalf of our board of directors, our staff, and awesome ambassadors, we welcome you in. The historic Wayne Theater was built in 1926 and began as a vaudeville house with a small orchestra pit and 625 seats. Through the years and after a series of unfortunate fires, the theater was redesigned as a movie duplex and functioned until 1999. Over the next 16 years, the Wayne Theater Alliance rented a storefront only a block from the theater in downtown Waynesboro, and we called it the Gateway. This was a special space to provide live performances and bring folks into downtown Waynesboro. To complete the Wayne Theater renovation, we were able to take advantage of historic and new market tax credits and will forever be grateful to the many generous donations from the community. The building you see today has state-of-the-art technical equipment, a hydraulic orchestra pit, and the main theater has 385 seats. We also have the Custom Cabaret. It's our own little black box that also provides us as an intimate performing space. The Lautermas Lounge, which features our historic stained glass windows, the Meadows Parlor, and our art exhibit gallery. We proudly opened our doors in March of 2016. Since then, the Wayne Theater has hosted, produced, or sponsored over 300 events each year, bringing the best artistic and cultural acts to the greater Waynesboro community. Currently, we offer a Broadway series that highlights local and regional talent, arts education programming, providing students a wonderful and affordable opportunity to experience live theater, classic films. It's almost like seeing them again for the first time when you experience the film on the big screen. Art exhibits that are curated, themed, and rotated 4 times a year. Our signature speaker series with a focus on history and science. We offer tours of the Wayne Theater, and all the time you can catch amazing performers from all over the world that come right here to bring us their wonderful talents. We hope you enjoy your time at the Wayne Theater, and please come back and see us again soon. Thank you. Hello and welcome to this week's At Home with the Wayne. My name is Tracy Strait. I'm the executive director of the historic Wayne Theater Ross Performing Arts Center located in downtown Waynesboro, Virginia. Tonight, we welcome Waynesboro native Daryl Brooks, the producing managing director of Black Ensemble Theater in Chicago. After performing in the Shenandoah Valley, touring nationally, and finding his theater home in Chicago, Daryl will be sharing his journey from Waynesboro to Chicago and lots in between with Hank Fitzgerald, our director of original programming. This evening's At Home with the Wayne is brought to you by our month of July sponsors: Standout Arts, Waynesboro's top-rated web designer; Mountain Valley Homes Team, the Valley's newest real estate team; First Bank and Trust Company; and E&E Plumbing, the best plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical service in Virginia. If you would like to become a sponsor of the At Home with the Wayne series, a partner in the arts, or make a donation to the Wayne Theater, please click on the waynetheater.org link in the description of this post just above the comment section. Once on the website, look for the orange box that says At Home with the Wayne. Please follow the prompts to make a donation or become a sponsor of any of our programming. We appreciate any support you can give. And before we turn it over to Hank and Daryl, I want to tell you about our Curtains Up with Jimmy O benefit and auction on August the 1st at 7:30 p.m. We are raising our curtain and raising funds for this very special event. Jimmy O will be on our stage at the Wayne singing songs, sharing stories, and something tells me he will be bringing us a few surprises along the way. We have some beautiful auction items that are up now for bidding. This is a pay what you will event, so please purchase tickets online, contributing any amount you choose. We do have limited seating in the theater, but we will also be live streaming the event. And now, here is Hank and Daryl.
Good evening. My name is Hank Fitzgerald, and we are here with Waynesboro's native Daryl Brooks. Daryl Brooks is in the house. How are you, brother? It's good to see you. It's been so long. How are you doing?
Doing great, Hank. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's been years since we've seen each other. I'd say at least 15 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so good to see you. You still look just as young as you did in high school.
Well, thank you, Daryl. So, Daryl, how have you been doing during this time? And what are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. The best as anybody else can do. Fortunately, the Black Ensemble was able to stay afloat. As far as executive staff and everything, really taking the time to do what I can to help actors that are out of work, and making sure that they're taken care of. And taking care of myself in the whole scheme of things. So we're doing good. Doing good.
And that's all we can do right now.
Absolutely.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass.
That's right. And Daryl, you grew up in Waynesboro. You were in concert choir, and you went to Shenandoah University.
Yes.
And studied music theater. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you brought up concert choir. It was great, but also Fresh Tones. Don't forget about Fresh Tones. You was in Fresh Tones too, Hank. So
I do. We had those outfits, and they were fantastic.
Fantastic. Originally from Waynesboro, like you said, grew up, went to school, started singing in special music with Miss Woodson. You know what I mean? The love of my life. She was a wonderful, wonderful teacher. All the way through high school. Shenandoah, because I saw you and Kelly Atkins going to Shenandoah, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. So get there, and you take off from there. Really, just being who I was in the arts. I often tell people I don't know anything else, which of course other things, but it always has been my passion. And my family has always supported it and supported me and done everything they could to make sure that I had a path to do the arts. From Waynesboro, like you said, all the way to Chicago.
Yes. And tell us about Chicago. You're the producing managing director and associate artistic director.
Yes.
And tell us how you got involved with the Black Ensemble Theater.
Okay. So it's a long story. It is long, but it's a story in its own. So after leaving Shenandoah, I actually got a tour out of Theater 4 out of Richmond. You guys, I don't know if you remember Theater 4. I don't think it's Theater 4 anymore, but I think it's a different theater company, which is touring children's theater. Then I got that tour with a friend of ours from college. His name is Jeff Predmore. And also, you remember Preddy?
Yes, Preddy. Hi, if you're watching, Preddy. Hello.
Hey, Fred. The actual tour, and Jen Foster. I don't let me forget about Jen Foster.
Yes.
Yes. So we actually came to Skokie. And Chicago had always been someplace that I was interested in. So we actually came to Skokie, and we would take the tour van into Chicago. For folks that don't know, Skokie is a suburb of northwestern suburb of Chicago. I think I got it right. I hope people don't kill me. It is what it is. So we would come into the city while we weren't performing, and just do the nightlife and see shows and different things. And I knew this is where I would be. So when that tour ended, seriously, the tour ended, I was back in Richmond, Virginia, and literally packed up everything into a U-Haul. Fred came up separately. Jeff, came up separately, but packed everything into a U-Haul. We found an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment that 4 of us lived in. Small bedrooms, yes. Very, very small bedrooms. 4 of us from Shenandoah lived there. And that's what it is. I just packed up and moved there. So after being here about a month or two, and actually, getting some work at some storefront theaters, actually, I said, I want to work with people that look like me. I want people, to work with people. I want to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as an African-American artist to make sure that I'm advancing the cause that we have. So literally, I just looked in the phone book, found Black Ensemble Theater. Called the Black Ensemble Theater. And Jackie Taylor, who's the executive director of the Black Ensemble Theater, actually answered the phone. And so what happened at that point in time, I said, I want to come volunteer. So at that point in time, we're talking about 1999.
Yep.
So at that point in time, she had just written and was producing one of her biggest hits called The Jackie Wilson Story. So she said, I hope if y'all don't know who Jackie Wilson is, Google it, okay? And you should. So she said, I need volunteer usher. So I went and I volunteer ushered for a weekend. And actually what happened after I volunteered usher for that weekend, she came to me and she said, hey, do you have a day job? Now, I actually did have a job. I was bartending at a place called, I was waiting tables at a place called Dave & Buster's, and I was bartending at a reggae bar called The Exodus. So, all of you people out there that are artists, I had 2 separate jobs and I was still trying to perform at the same time. But I was young. I was like 24 years old. And let me tell you that my plan was to be not in Chicago. I planned by my 26th birthday, I was going to be in LA. But, plans changed. So anyway, so I volunteered, and then she asked me, did I have a day job? And I said, no. And she said, I need somebody to come work in my box office. Now, this is before I had done a show, auditioned, or anything for Black Ensemble Theater. And she said, I see something in you that I need to have around. And this is what she said. So she needed me to be around. So I said, okay, great. So then what happened, literally a week later, I had worked in the box office for maybe a week for $7 an hour, by the way. And I quit my other job except for I was bartending at the reggae bar. But a week later, I get another phone call from Theater 4 to go back on tour. So, I went back on tour with Theater 4 and came back and my job was still there. So I worked in the box office of the Black Ensemble for a while. I also was auditioning and performing in different theaters around the city of Chicago, and performing at the Black Ensemble Theater and still bartending because, a lot of times, theater just doesn't pay the bill. So that's what I did. I worked in the box office. And then there's a program at the Black Ensemble called the Black Playwrights Initiative. And what that is burgeoning Black playwrights come in and we shape them and shape their work and help them grow as playwrights. And so there's a festival that we do every year called the Black Playwrights Festival. And so Jackie said, you're a wonderful performer, you're great. Here's some scripts. I want you to direct these readings. At that point in time, they were just readings. And I haven't looked back since. And we're talking about 2004. Maybe that's when I first started directing. So just been, doing it since then. And then that journey has just grown since then. In 2009, she made me associate artistic director of the Black Ensemble Theater, one of them, along with Ruben Eccles, who's a close friend of mine, and just directing shows. And Black Ensemble is, we only do original work. And that, I don't know how many big theaters and Black theaters out there do original work, but only Black Ensemble only does original work. And so we moved to our new theater because we were at a 150-seat basement theater. That's where the Black Ensemble was. And 2011, we moved into the big $20 million state-of-the-art theater. We were able to raise enough funds and do what we needed to do to make that happen. Jackie Taylor, who's an amazing person, amazing executive director. If you don't know who she is, you should. If you want to check her out, she's been in movies like Cooley High, and her story is amazing also. How she started in movies and theater and everything. So at that point in time, I started writing. I was a part of BPI anyway, and then I started writing along with directing shows at the Black Ensemble. And then, here we are,
And here we are.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of people watching tonight. Let's give some shout outs.
All right.
Nicole Struthers-Stevens is amazing works too.
Oh, right.
Everyone is out there. And hi, Daryl. Karen Shiflett is saying hello.
Hey.
Valerie Ball. She was in high school with us. Hi, Valerie.
Hey, Val.
Lisa McDowell is watching.
Yes.
We have a lot of people watching with us. Nikki Bellamy is watching. Hi, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. Is Shanda watching too? I want to see Shanda watching. And all my friends from Chicago. I mean, I hope you guys are watching. I can't see any comments, but.
Yes, and if you've got any questions for Daryl, shoot them our way. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from our audience. So Daryl, first show that we're going to discuss tonight was Men of Soul. Tell us about that. So
I originally had written a musical about Bill Withers. Well received. This is 2014 going into 15. Well received when it was written and everything. And so the executive director, Jackie Taylor, she was trying to get the rights, but Bill Withers was getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So they pulled all the rights to music. So at the last minute, I said, well, what can I do? Because it was slated. And so we found out what we could do with his music, but then I decided to write a review about just great men of soul. And it just came to me literally one night talking to my partner, my fiance, Denise, who's back there watching. Hey, Denise.
Hey, Denise.
And really just being like, hey, there's these great men of music, and let me just write it, and literally just sat down and started writing it, and it took off. It took off from there. That show had a mind of its own, absolutely.
Yeah. And we've got a clip from that, and I can't wait to see it. Let's roll that clip.
Audiences and critics are raving about Men of Soul, written and directed by Daryl Brooks.
I really enjoyed the show. It was excellent.
Great music, great choreography, love the show.
The music's fantastic. It's a great show.
Chris Jones of the Chicago Tribune says that Men of Soul is one of the best times you will have in a Chicago theater this summer. And Hetty Weiss of the Chicago Sun-Times says, highly recommended. Come and feel the fire. Men of Soul only runs through August 30th. So don't miss this hit production. Call 773-769-4451 or visit blackensemble.org. Get your tickets today for Men of Soul at the Black Ensemble Theater.
Wow, that production value is wonderful. I call it eye candy. It's fantastic, Daryl. Yep. Wonderful. Wow. And you got a Jeff nomination for this, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a Jeff nomination for Best Musical and Best Director for that show.
So those who are watching that don't understand what the Jeff Award is, can you explain that to us?
Jeff Awards are like, what a lot of people consider to be Chicago and regional theaters version of the Tony Awards. It's a big award ceremony here in Chicago. And it's great to be nominated. It's great to be a part of. It has its issues. There's issues with the Jeff Awards, but to be nominated and part of that is great. There's some institutional issues with it because there's, systematically it is what it is. You know what I mean? I wish I could come on here and be like, hey, everything is all hunky-dory, but it is what it is. But it is a big deal. It is a big deal. Any recognition is a big deal. Being on this show is a big deal. So it's great. That's what the Jeff Award is.
Awesome. Thanks for explaining. So in your next project was the Josephine Baker.
Yes.
Please tell us about that.
Okay, so here's a story about the Josephine Baker. The way we can we figure out what our seasons are going to be at the Black Ensemble Theater is the artistic directors, we get together and we start throwing around what our season is. We name the season. Josephine Baker was in the season of dance. Now, I don't want anybody to laugh at me because this is a laughable story. I do not know as much about dance as I should, period, especially being music theater and going to college and doing everything, especially Black dance. I mean, I'll go ahead and put that out there then. I didn't know. So, you know, the other directors were putting shows out there and we were saying, okay, we're going to do this show, going to do this show, doing this show. And somebody brought up Josephine Baker. Now, I said, wait a second, I'll do Josephine Baker, in my brain thinking about Billie Holiday. And I was just like, so in my brain, I was just like, Billie Holiday, I love Billie Holiday, you know, but I got the two confused. No way, and I'm ashamed that I got them confused. And my assistant afterwards that knows me so well, her name's Karen Blackmore, I don't know if she's watching or not, but afterwards, she pulled me in the hallway and said, yeah, you think that Josephine Baker is Billie Holiday, and it's not. And I was just like, oh my God. So, but what we do is, I mean, because they are all historical figures, the research is extensive. So I researched for a year. And of course, in finding everything I can about this wonderful, wonderful woman, Josephine Baker. And created what Chris Jones, a critic here in Chicago, said was one of the best shows he's seen, especially from the Black Ensemble Theater, in 25 years. It was written, when I tell you, I'm gonna tell you this, the actors in Chicago are unmatched. I know everybody talks about New York and you talk about whatever you want to say in California. Chicago, hands down, and I'm saying it right now, have the best actors, singers in the world because the talent is just there. I mean, it's amazing. But I had the most amazing cast for Josephine Baker. A woman by the name of Ariel Williams. Yes. Played a young Josephine, and I mean, and the whole cast was just absolutely phenomenal. Ruben Eccles did the choreography for that show, and I mean, and I have an amazing staff. My lighting, I mean, Denise is my lighting designer, sound designers. It was just great. And that got Jeff recommended, and Ariel actually got Jeff nomination behind the show. So it was great, and especially coming from somebody that was just like, confuse Josephine Baker with Billie Holiday. Yeah, that's what happened.
Hey, and we're going to show that clip of Josephine Baker right now.
Oh, all right.
Stunning, completely stunning, Daryl. Wow, what an incredible cast.
Yeah, oh man.
Just amazing. I have always wanted to come up and see one of your productions, and I'm hoping that I can. And just experience, because it just seems like a beautiful, beautiful theater. So, on to Sammy Davis Jr.
Yes.
Emmy, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Sammy Davis Jr. has always been one of my idols and icons. I've always wanted to write a show on Sammy Davis Jr. I've always wanted to be a part of it. Now, this has an interesting story also. I didn't realize that all of the shows had an interesting story. Now, Josephine Baker and Sammy Davis Jr. were both in that season of dance. So I did pick. I was just like, Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah, I'd do Sammy. So that was it. But they wanted me to do two shows. That's how we got Josephine Baker also. So what happened was, we got the rights from to do Sammy Davis Jr.'s story, and I wrote the show. Great, flawless, it was great. From his daughter, right? But what happened was, we found out that he and his wife Altavis, probably a year or 2 years before Sammy Davis Jr. died, adopted a son. And so all of the performing rights of being able to perform Sammy Davis Jr. went to that son, not his daughter Tracy.
Right.
So by the time we petitioned him, he said no. He said, you can't do it, right? But one thing that we were able to do is Sammy didn't write any music that we know of. Everything was standards.
Right.
So what I did was take it and turned it into a review. So it was a musical review about Sammy Davis Jr. using that music. I had people playing Sammy in different roles in his life, different narrators that were narrating his life as we went on. It's the only song that we had to petition for was What Kind of Fool Am I? The writer is still alive and well. We're like, hey, he was just like, go ahead. And I was like, great. He's like 92 years old or something. And in London, I don't know if he's 92, I'm just saying that. But the interesting part about it, and Hank, you'll appreciate this. So we got the information with the cease and desist on the story of Sammy Davis Jr. the Thursday before Tech. So I had to rewrite that whole script and make it a review in 3 days. Wow. So in 3 days before Tech, again, hands down, Chicago, best actors, best performers, they didn't skip a beat. You know what I mean? I was just like, look, I'm confident that it's gonna happen. You guys gotta be confident. And it was an amazing show. And I got to give a shout out to, of course, all of my designers. My lighting designer, Denise, Beck Lambrecht, who's a set designer. I mean, our stage manager, Jessica. I mean, it's just been a great journey with these people. Yeah, that show, Sammy, sold out every night. It was a wonderful show.
Yes, and here's a video from Sammy.
Yeah.
Gonna live until I die. I'm gonna laugh instead of cry. I'm gonna hit the town and turn it upside down. I'm gonna live until I die.
Fantastic, Daryl. We've got some shout outs definitely on here. Nicole Stevens says, we are laughing with you, not at you. Evan Davis says, what's going on, Mr. Brooks?
Hey!
Nene, Jennifer Rawson is watching.
Hey, Nene!
Well, Daryl Brooks, you're so busy with all your projects. At the end of the day, you must feel like you need to pass out.
That's from Nene. That's from Jay.
That's from Nene. We love you, girl. So, Sarah Jane Christensen, who's our choreographer at the Wayne, one of our choreographers and been in many of our shows, she says, what is your research process like when preparing for a show, Daryl?
So one of the first things I do is get as much information as possible, and that's books. I have to read a lot. Talk to as many family members and people that are connected with those people as possible. And I really totally immerse myself in who they are. It's not a short process. It's not anything that is easy at all. I wish I could say, I mean, I go to sleep and information is just there, but it's not. It's really something that takes time. Now, getting down to writing it, you know, it's literally, I immerse myself in who these people are, and then I try to think like they think. And that's what it is. You know, you kind of just try to be them and figure out what they would say and what they would do in what situation.
You have to put yourself in that place.
Absolutely.
In that character's head.
Absolutely.
And the research, the reading,
yeah, absolutely,
and all that is so important. And Daryl, your next piece was The Women of Soul.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I did the Men of Soul, so I had to do Women of Soul.
That's right.
I mean, that was what it was. But actually, in Men of Soul, because I'm all about product placement, in Men of Soul, which actually was 3 years before Women of Soul, just let you know, 2015 was Men of Soul. Women of Soul was 2018. I had a projection that came up in Minnesota that said Women of Soul coming soon. So I had to do it, right?
Right.
And it's the same thing. But you know, Women of Soul, I grew up with so many amazing women in my life that helped me be who I am today, that I had to pay homage to their icons. Like, you know what I mean? Like Miss Veronica Davis, I think she's on here. She's been a part of my life since I was this big. Right. You know what I mean? And, you know, so, I mean, growing up with Waynesboro Area Improvement Society and people like that, I would always listen to the music they were playing, not necessarily supposed to be, and different things like that. So, of course, I had to pay homage, and that's how I felt like I was paying homage to the women in my life. My mother, who passed away in 1997, but I mean, she was with me every day writing that show. And I mean, we had Mahalia Jackson in that show. We had Janet Jackson in that show. I mean, if you name it, I put it in that show. Janis Joplin, Adele, Tina Marie, if you don't know who she is.
I know who Tina Marie is.
yeah. But it was special to my heart because it really let me pay homage to the women in my life. And it was Women of Soul with Aretha Franklin. And so at the end, they did a whole Aretha Franklin medley. And it was great. It was great. I mean, I love that show.
I know, Aretha Franklin.
Listen, again, and these singing women.
Well, let's see those singing women right now. Let's show that.
You make me weep and moan. You make me feel so good. You make me weep and moan. You ain't looking for no woman. All you're looking for is a home. You ain't nothing but a hound dog snooping around my door. You ain't nothing but a hound dog snooping around my door. You can wag your tail.
Then I kissed your lips and you
turned on, you turned on, you turned on my
then you showed me what I can do with every measure.
fire and desire.
Made me
Feeling
live
good to you.
Then you burn within your flame.
You burn
Fire and desire. We are all to blame. All to
Visually, just beautiful. Those costumes, wow.
Ruben Eccles.
And Valerie had a question for you, Daryl.
Yes, her question was, I don't remember. She said something about, well, let me put it this way. So there are in our shows, majority of our shows are biographical. We do the majority of shows are biographical musicals. It's not that we haven't done any shows that have fictional characters in them, but we kind of stick to the historical shows and musicals of the times. You know, so most of the time, Valerie, it's we don't really have fictional characters in our shows. Yeah.
And our next show is Chuck Berry.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
Yes, Chuck Berry.
Listen, and it's so funny because Chuck Berry, we actually were doing, like literally we had plans. It was planned to do Chuck Berry, and literally he died like before it happened. But got in touch with his people, was able to get the show up. Funny story about that, and I'm not gonna put anybody's name on blast, but we had technically he thought he was a celebrity on that that we cast in that show. But Black Ensemble is, I mean, we're not starstruck because we consider ourselves to be stars, just like you, Hank, and just like everybody out there. So, you know, nobody gets starstruck, and he was playing a young Chuck Berry. And of course, you know, we pay well at the Black Ensemble. We pay decently at the Black Ensemble, but of course it wasn't what he wanted it to be. So he decided he was going to try to take the show hostage. So he waited until first preview and was like, okay, now I want more money. But what he didn't know was I have a telephone full of the greatest actors in the world, and I literally picked up the phone, had his understudy there by the next weekend, and it was just like bon voyage. Okay, anyway, that's that story. That's been in my soul for a long time. It's because I feel like I'm gossiping. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Well,
anyway,
you can tell me, Daryl.
yeah. And so, but that show was amazing. Also, my good friend, Lyle Miller. When I tell you, when I was in the box office of the Black Ensemble, he was there with me. It was Lyle Miller and I. And amazing singer, amazing performer. He played the older Chuck Berry, and a guy named Vincent Jordan, who's amazing, who was also in Josephine Baker, and You Can't Take the Funk, and some other shows, Black Ensemble. He stepped in and played the young Chuck Berry, and they were absolutely wonderful, out of this world. One of my favorite shows, learning about Chuck Berry and just knowing about his life, some of the misconceptions that people think that they know.
Yeah.
It was an amazing show.
Let's watch that video, Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm doing all right in school. They say I ain't never broke no rules. I ain't never did Dutch. I don't browse around that much. Don't bother me, leave me alone. Anyway, I'm almost grown. I don't hang around with no mob. Give myself a little job. I buy myself a little car. A little vibe. Don't bother, leave us alone. Anyway, we almost grown. Myself a little girl. Oh, and she's out of this world. I'ma take her to the dance.
Wow. Just amazing, Daryl. The scenes are fantastic. Like, I was wondering, before we go to this last clip for tonight, let's talk about the awards that you've won for these shows and which awards those are, including the Jeff Award. Tell us about that.
So I've won some awards, and not just with the Black Ensemble Theater, but I'm able to you know, our community, the Black theater community in Chicago and around the world, is a community that is thriving and is great. Chicago and nationally, we have the African American Arts Alliance Awards and the Black Theater Alliance Awards. And so Josephine Baker, Men of Soul, Women of Soul, You Can't Fake the Funk, and Chuck Berry and Sandy, all those shows that we're featuring tonight, all of them won African American Arts Alliance Awards. I also won directing awards for 4 out of 5 of them, and Black Theater Alliance Awards. I was able to win 3 for Men of Soul, Women of Soul, and not We Can't Fake the Funk because COVID happened, but Men of Soul, Women of Soul, and Josephine Baker. Sorry, I won for those also. But I also won Black Theater Alliance Awards for another show that I did for Porchlight Music Theater called Memphis. I don't know, Hank, you might be.
Yes, I love Memphis. Love that show. It's an amazing show.
Yeah, I actually had the woman that played Josephine Baker was the lead in that show for us. Yeah, it was great. That was also nominated for a Jeff Award. I was nominated for Jeff Award for that also. But I actually, Black Ensemble won the Jeff Award for Best Review for You Can't Fake the Funk. So yeah, that's it.
That is amazing, Daryl.
Yeah.
And let's watch that video of You Can't Fake the Funk.
Can't fake the funk.
We want the funk. Give up the funk. Now we need the funk. We gotta have that funk. La 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 la.
We want the funk. Hey! Gotta have that funk. Yeah! Daryl, I miss you so much.
I miss you too.
Wonderful. You know, Daryl, they're just what a fun show. And you know, what are you currently working on right now, and what plans do you have in the future? What future projects are you working on?
Right now, because of COVID, we're not really producing anything. But what's in the works right now, Black Ensemble for me, when we come back is the story is called, it's the story of Earth, Wind, and Fire, yes. Who's also featured in You Can't Fake the Funk. If you don't know Earth, Wind, and Fire, I'm not talking to you, Hank, because I know you do. But if you don't know Earth, Wind, and Fire, you should. You should be ashamed of yourself if you don't. So I'm working on that. Also, Phoenix Theater Company is doing Color Purple. I've been asked to direct out there in Phoenix. And then because of COVID, I was supposed to do Ain't Misbehaving at Theater at the Center in Indiana, but you know, all that stuff got pushed back. But right now, one of my big focuses, of course, in the city of Chicago is making sure that Black voices are being heard. And making sure that is the top of my agenda. Telling those stories. Black Ensemble mission statement is to eradicate racism through the theater arts, and making sure that happens, and making sure that in the environment that we're living in right now, that Black children know their worth, and really fighting for justice for right now. I'm not trying to turn it into social justice PSA, but it is what it is. Yeah.
No, you're Daryl. Everyone, and I speak for everyone here in Waynesboro and across the country, we are so proud of you. Waynesboro native, award winner of the Jeff Award, and a wonderful striving theater that it's just fantastic, and it's just a pleasure to see your work, to see the work of it, and I can't wait to see it. And is there anything you'd like to say before we go tonight? Say hello to anyone.
Hey to everybody in Waynesboro, I love you. I can't wait to make sure that I bring a show to Waynesboro. What's going to make that happen is you donating to the Wayne Theater so they have some money to stay open and be able to bring one of my shows there. We want to make sure that that happens because it's important. Black art is important. Theater is important. And we have to make sure that we're pumping that into Waynesboro, Virginia. I love you, Hank. You are great. And it's great we didn't get to tell a whole bunch of stories about high school in Shenandoah. I know we didn't, but
that's another story for another show. Because we could go on for hours.
Yes, we could. But
I'm hoping to see you soon, Daryl.
Great, yeah. I'm hoping to see you soon. I'll be home Christmas time. My family, who is everything, like I said, they've always supported me, and family, friends, and everybody. And I love to see them every time that I'm home. And I want them to be able to come see, because a lot of my shows have gone to the National Black Theater Festival in North Carolina. And so they've been able to come see the shows there, but I would love to bring one of the shows home to Waynesboro, Virginia.
Yeah, and we would love that too, Daryl. And I want to thank everyone for watching tonight. Stay safe. Thank you, Daryl Brooks. Again, the one and only Daryl Brooks. Thank you. And thank everyone for watching this evening. Have a safe holiday weekend, and we'll see you at the Wayne.
Thank you so much, Daryl. We could not be more proud of you and all that you have accomplished. Congratulations, and we wish you continued success in Chicago. Please come back and visit us anytime. And thank you all for watching At Home with the Wayne. Please keep checking our Facebook page and YouTube channel for lots more fun from the Wayne. These presentations would not be possible without the support of our Wayne Theater patrons, partners, sponsors, and friends. And once again, we'd like to thank our month of July At Home with the Wayne sponsors: Standout Arts, Waynesboro's top-rated web designer, Mountain Valley Homes team, the Valley's newest real estate team, First Bank and Trust Company, E&E Plumbing, the best plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical service in Virginia. If you would like to become a sponsor of the At Home with the Wayne series, a partner in the arts, or make a donation to the Wayne Theater, please click on the waynetheater.org link in the description of this post just above the comments section. Once on our website, look for the orange box that says At Home with the Wayne, and please follow the prompts to make a donation or become a sponsor of any of our programming. We truly appreciate any support you can give. Please join us again next Wednesday evening for At Home with the Wayne as we welcome Kelly Atkins, a native Virginian. Kelly graduated from Waynesboro High School, received her BFA in Music Theater from Shenandoah Conservatory, and she currently lives in Florida with her husband and 2 daughters, and she's catching up with Hank Fitzgerald, our Director of Original Programming. Hope to see you there. Monday movies are back at the Wayne Theater, and Monday, August 3rd, we will have Little Shop of Horrors at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Hope to see you then. And please save the date and join us on August 1st at 7:30 p.m. for Curtains Up with Jimmy O Benefit and Auction. We are raising our curtain and raising funds for this very special event. Jimmy O will be on our stage at the Wayne singing songs, sharing stories, and something tells me he'll be bringing us a few surprises along the way. We have some beautiful auction items that are up for bidding now. This is a pay-what-you-will event, so please purchase tickets online, contributing any amount you choose. We do have limited seating in the theater, and we will also be live streaming the event. Thank you again for joining us this evening. Be safe, be hopeful, stay home, check in on your loved ones, and we'll see you next time at Home with the Wayne. Good night.